about writing online, now that I think about it. One is that you can quote the text. I mean, I wrote something recently about this advertisement that ran during the Super Bowl with Clint Eastwood, which I analyzed as a kind of Obama drama. And that you could put the whole thing could just be there for anybody to click on and look at it. So that was great. And the other thing is that with links you can footnote, which you can never do with a newspaper. So, you know, the whole burden, having said how much I love editors, of course, you know, like I would not be telling the truth if I said that I was thrilled every time I was ever asked to explain some reference. But, you know, if you just put a link on something, then the person, if they don't know what it is, they'll click on it and find out. So that's a great improvement, I think.
Creo que una de las dos cosas destacaría sobre aspectos muy positivos del trabajo online. Una es la posibilidad de citar directamente el texto. O sea, por ejemplo, hace poco hice una pequeña crítica sobre un anuncio hecho por Clint Eastwood, que yo titulé el drama de Obama, y en esa misma nota pude poner el video mismo sobre el cual hablaba, y la gente cliqueaba ahí y podía ver el material original. Y lo otro es la posibilidad de poner notas a pie de página con links a el trabajo original que estoy citando. Entonces cualquier persona que no sabe de lo que estoy hablando y tiene curiosidad puede simplemente referirse al material de origen directamente.
Right. I always wanted to be a writer, even when I was a kid. That's what I wanted to do. And I read a lot. So I have a lot of influences that probably I'm not even aware of. But, you know, I like words and I like to be playful and make puns. And I know that it probably was infuriating to translate some of these things, but it's very hard for me not to do that. It's just part of the fun of writing, and to want to turn phrases. And I would say that you know, to mention Manny Farber again, I mean, he certainly was somebody who influenced me in terms of style, but he himself comes from a whole kind of American writing where you can integrate slang and a certain kind of erudition in the same sentence, you know, mixing high and low, and it's irresistible for me, anyway.
En verdad, yo desde pequeño siempre quise escribir y leía mucho. Entonces, desde ese lado siempre me interesó jugar con las palabras, hacer juegos de palabras mismos. Y realmente a esta altura lo encuentro imposible no hacer. Lamento el arduo trabajo que habrán tenido. Pero, por ejemplo, para citar a alguien, Manny Farber de nuevo, rescato como él podría jugar y mezclar una especie de argot con un lenguaje un poco más académico, y justamente ir y venir entre esos puntos es realmente lo que siempre me interesó hacer.
For me, since I have very little facility in any language other than English, I'm completely in awe of translators. I mean, I really think that it seems to me that it must be so difficult, and it's such a necessary thing.
Y debo decir que yo, como en verdad solo manejo el inglés, siempre me impresiona muchísimo el trabajo de los traductores, como pueden justamente ir y venir entre dos idiomas, me parece realmente increíble, notable.
Humor, speaking of translation, is something which I think is often very specific, and I will take the example of Albert Brooks, filmmaker Albert Brooks. I mean, for me, this guy was the great comic director in American movies of the 70s and 80s, and he still occasionally will do something. And I was struck by the fact that I don't know whether he has any presence here or not, but that in the UK and France, they just did not get this. They just did not get it. It was they didn't understand it. Am I right? I mean, they didn't get it, and so I think that you know is can be the case. It's very things that make you laugh, and laughing is not something that you have any control over. Either you find something funny or you don't. So I think that it's maybe more interesting to analyze why you think that something's funny than to argue about why it isn't funny. It doesn't strike me funny. I just wrote something about this. I don't know if the Three Stooges is that. Yeah. Oh, I guess.
So, hablando de lo que es traducir algo, me parece que el humor es algo bastante local, en verdad, y tomando como ejemplo el trabajo de Albert Brooks, que en los 70s, 80s era como el actor, director, comediante mejor, más típico de ese momento en Estados Unidos. Realmente, por ejemplo, en Francia, en Inglaterra, nadie lo entendía, no lo entendían, qué sensación. Entonces, me parece que a veces es más interesante analizar qué es lo que nos causa gracia en el humor, qué es lo que no nos causa gracia, porque en verdad nosotros no controlamos el momento en que nos reímos.
Comedy group from the 30s and 40s and 50s called the Three Stooges, who I remember from television when I was a kid, and I never thought they were funny. I had a number of reasons for disliking them, and now there's a film in tribute to them anyway. It made me analyze my own feelings about why I didn't find it funny, and I concluded that I would never find it funny, although I did find a certain pathos in it, which may be something.
Entonces, hace poco escribí algo sobre los tres chiflados, que desde pequeño yo los veía, pero desde pequeño nunca me causaron gracia, nunca me parecieron particularmente entretenidos.